shame on me twice. Ma'am, shame on you 1,000 times. Okay? Right. He has played you several times. You have moved past the shame on me once, shame on me twice. Girl, you have moved past this.
You are so far past 2 times being shamed on. I can't keep count how many times. Like, so she was trying to make herself feel better. In her head, that's how she was rationalizing it, that it's only been 2 times. Ma'am, when she said that, I did a double take. I was like, oh, she's about to make me mad all over again.
She obviously has, I don't see how she's an accountant because she can't count. Because this has gone on, it's been too many times. Like, I don't know if she's looking at the debits or the credits.
Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. This is Crystal Denise Speaks, and I'm back here with my girls to discuss with y'all Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 9. Hey ladies.
Hi.
So today we have a special guest, my friend Danielle. This is her first time here with us. Hey girl, hey.
Hey girl.
So we're glad you're here. Danielle loves Married at First Sight as well. And every week we have an offline commentary with her, review show with her. So I'm glad that you're here today so we can put this on record, okay?
Yes. It definitely needs to be done.
Yes. Okay. So, ladies, I was thinking, I mean, there's always, the normals. But one of the couples that I kind of had a lot of thoughts on, I thought we could start with them, and they're first on my list of notes was Brianna and Vincent. So I was just like, okay, they're back. I just love Vincent so much. They said, I love you. And it was like very authentic. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Vincent is so thoughtful. He wrote those Spanish words of the day. Bicicleta. Is that how you say bicicleta? Bicycle.
I think it was. I think it was. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't think, but I think that's what he said.
Okay. He got her that bike. Y'all. Then they went dancing and he ruined it all. What is wrong with him?
Let me just go back, Crystal, because you said you were so excited. You thought they were back and all these things. I'm telling you from that very first time, actually, once we broke down what his issue was that first time, and it was him being embarrassed in the way he acted, the whole time I was on pins and needles because I am so I'm like, I'm damaged from what happened that I'm just like, he's so sensitive that anything can be triggering. And I was just hoping like nothing would happen. Y'all, I'm worried.
I feel the opposite. Like, he fools me every time. Like, as soon as I see him, I want to lay in his beard. And he's just being like so sweet to her. And then like, I really enjoyed her definition of love about looking at flaws and stuff like that. And when she's not looking at the flaws anymore and she accepts the person for who they really are, I was like, girl, that's me. I felt seen and heard. So then like he brings out the bike and, he's like, he kind of got me a little bit when he was like, so we're going to be using like the L word, like real soon, like testing her out. And I was like, okay, I'll take it. And so like, she said that she loved him and he like jumped like with excitement. Like he was like so cute with it. And then, he was excited about the dance class. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. Like I literally like was squealing and like, I'm just like all scrunched up. And then he started getting an attitude. And I'm like, I was like, wait, what happened? It's like, how does he fool me every time, Bree?
I'm telling you, because of the fact that what was so little to me in my eyes, what was not it didn't warrant what she did the first time on camera, didn't warrant him to react that way. That that was so triggering to me. Like, at any time he's subject to flip out or like to get an attitude. And I saw it coming. You know, first of all, I think she surprised him. Thinking back on how the dance lesson transpired, I think she surprised him. So I mean, I'm sorry. I like Vincent too. He is a very handsome guy, but your shirt is too tight. Even
you said what?
If y'all not dancing, his shirt is too tight. Like his whole
too tight.
His whole get up was like, that whole outfit didn't look comfortable.
We're in the middle of quarantine. None of my clothes fit. I've been on spring break all week. I've been wearing leggings all week. That's been my spring break outfit because like my jeans don't fit. So it was of quarantine.
But, like his clothes were already medium probably before. So then he put on the 15, and now I don't have a problem with it because again, I want to lay in his beard, but the pants are a little bit too tight to go dancing. And when she told him they were gonna dance, then he probably should have put something else on.
Okay,
right?
So maybe the situation was he was just upset because his pants was too tight for the dance.
And his shirt he was hot and stuff, but he didn't have nothing to pull on.
Yeah.
Like
he did.
I think that had a lot to do with it. His
other argument, I did think when she said that's so Vinny of you, it made me think about that Friends episode where it was called Doing a Monica, and doing a Monica was not a good thing. So when she said that immediately, even though the music was shady, when she said, "Oh, that's so Vinny of you," I was like, "Oh."
Wait, she didn't say that again, did she?
No,
but I'm saying the prior argument. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt that, you know, he got embarrassed and like with some other things, but I didn't think it was something that happened to him all the time. So the salsa class is totally different because you just learn how to do a dance that you don't know how to do. Nobody said that you were stupid or nobody inferred anything about you. It was like, hey, let's have a good time. We're going to learn something new together, because neither one of them knew how to, you know, salsa dance. So I'm like, oh, okay, so, this is who you are. You're not even embarrassed or nothing. This is
which is childish. It's very immature. It is so immature. Did y'all see the part where they were dancing and she saw that he was struggling and she tried to do it subtly, and I would have done the same thing to my man. Like, oh, come on, babe. Like, let's do it together. Did y'all see where he kind of pushed her off and was like, no, like this. He did that, and it was in the middle of them like doing. He kind of pushed her to the side, and I was like kind of swatted her hand away. I was like, oh, this fool. He was so. I'm like, that was so immature. That was Chris level immature.
So
no, we're not gonna put them on the same level.
I'm sorry. Yeah. And that was that.
It was bad. But Chris's is like garbage, like
hot garbage. So yeah, I don't know, but I hear what you're saying, Bree, because like for me, like I do not want to be on eggshells for anything. Like I always talk about how like anger issues and stuff like that is like a deal breaker for me, because I'm gonna be on eggshells. Like, oh my gosh, am I gonna make them angry? Are they gonna have an outburst? Like, and I would be feeling the same way about Vincent. Like, oh my gosh, am I gonna embarrass him? Is he gonna get insecure? Like, dude, chill out. But you know what? I rewatched it because normally I watch it and I'll take notes. But it was really kind of good to just watch it and enjoy it without taking notes. So I was like, let me rewatch it and take some notes, you know, for our show. And I think this is when Vincent checked out because the instructor was like, okay, we're doing lefty. Which one is your left foot? You know.
Oh.
And so whenever he questioned about which one is the left, yeah, he was like, check. But with my problem with him is like Brianna, I love that she was checked in this time and she was seeing, okay. I mean, it's kind of hard not to see that his attitude is just trash, you know. but she's trying to ask him questions and help him get there. He needs to be able, he's going to need to learn to communicate. He needs to do some self-work because, dude.
Therapy. He needs a male mentor. Like they need like another married couple that they hang out with or something, and that he can call that man every time he gets red in the face, because it's too much. Now, also the instructor was bad, because I even thought that while I was watching. I was like, okay, so they need to go somewhere else for the salsa lessons, because I'm not the best dancer. And so when I go somewhere, I need to do it over and over and over. And I need you to, at least, even if you're not going to say something positive, I need you to not say anything negative. Because they went really quick from learning the footwork to dancing together to turning the music on where you're doing it really fast. And he should have been able to see that Vincent was still needing some more time. She said she's a dancer.
Yeah.
So dancing, coming in and learn how to do something is not the same as me coming in there and learning how to do it.
Right. And I agree with you. I think they needed another instructor, somebody who was a little bit more light and fun, and also could really understand like how to slow down the pace. Like, I don't. And he mentioned it, and then he said something like, what did he say? If this was a different type of dance, he would have been okay.
Bachata.
Yeah. He said salsa was the one he knew how to dance the least. He was a crybaby. I feel the opposite of what Crystal said about Brianna, though, because I was kind of feeling like with Vincent, I feel like don't poke the bear sometimes. And when she kept on asking him, I was just like, he didn't already show who he is. He's crying, he's pouting. It was the same thing as last time. And I felt like the more she kept asking, just the kind of almost the worse it got. Like he not gonna give you anything. He's messed up in the head. He's insecure. Like he's not going to be able to respond in the way that she wanted to be able to have a mature adult conversation.
Okay, so you're saying she needed to just wait.
Yes.
Okay. As long as you're not.
I thought about that, right? So I was like, okay, if she ignores it and acts like everything is okay, he might get mad. If she asks him to talk about it before he's ready to talk about it, he might get mad. So then I was like, well, dang, what can she do? Does she just need to slide up next to him, hold his hand, and just be quiet and wait?
He might get mad.
He might get mad about that too, that she touched him, because you already said he slapped her hand away. So it's like she was damned if she do, damned if she didn't. So let's just get it out there then, so that way I know what you want me to do when you get frustrated. And when you get frustrated, that's every other time that I'm with you.
Right. Okay, this is the last thing I'm going to say about them. Did y'all notice it was at the very beginning of the episode when it started, and she had on like this orange shirt and these jeans, and I think we lost Brie. You still there, Brie? Okay. Oh, you can do that on camera. It's okay. Okay. It's late. We're not doing our early morning. This is evening. Okay. Anyway, so she had on like this orange top and jeans or whatever. And he said something about her being tall. Like she was too tall. And she was like, oh, baby, just say I'm tall or something. And she forced him to hug and they laughed and kissed. And I'm like, dude, I just need you to get some confidence for her.
I didn't pick up on that. So y'all feel like he wasn't timid? Like he wasn't super excited?
He didn't really care for it. He didn't care for it that she was that tall. Because when I watched it the second time, I noticed, I'm like,
yeah. Okay, so I'm glad that they both said the I love you, and I feel like, I mean, to me, it's not the same type of I love you, like we've been together 20 years or we've been together 5, 10 years, but at least they're feeling like that feeling, so she can possibly work through his drama, and he has to work through her stuff too. But Brianna haters, because there's a lot of y'all out there who be just talking about how Brianna is just a mess and she be picking at him. She's got to deal with a lot too. So that's all I'm gonna say.
She definitely does. But I mean, I understand that. That was the other reason why I gave him the benefit of that with the champagne was because I noticed that she would make little comments, and then her family says that she makes little comments. So that was another reason why I gave him the benefit of that because I felt like there was a lot of stuff going on maybe in the background that we didn't see. This was nothing. This was you just didn't know how to dance, and because you couldn't come out there and look like have a lot of swag, you were upset that you were looking like you were learning how to dance.
Yeah.
Crybaby.
All right. Well, as always, I forgot to put up their picture. That's Brianna and Vincent.
And his beard, girl.
That Danielle wants to lay all up in, but that's Brianna's man, okay?
It is. It is.
Okay.
A married man.
All right, let's go ahead next and go to Virginia and Eric. So they're next to my notes, so that's where we're going to them next. Y'all, she stayed with a drink in her hand. She just do. And I don't know if it's just the producer. I just don't know. But she stayed with a drink. I think I'm thinking back to the first thing. They were going golfing, y'all. She had her drink. She just stayed. Eric had his water. Y'all, he said he's not gonna be on camera being drunk no more. So he had enough of that in Vegas. So y'all, it's so funny because, well, I definitely think the time away from his job is going to be a problem for her. But it was funny because when they were talking about it, it's like he's trying to convince her that okay, like yeah, we were away, but it was cool. You were good. We were good. Like he's trying to convince her, and I found it very funny how when she was away at her girlfriend's wedding and he wanted to talk every couple hours, she said something about that, like that's excessive. But she didn't appreciate the fact that he didn't communicate with her enough when he was gone on his trip. But so I just think it was because she was away with her friends that he was like, oh, I need to call her all the time to find out what's going on. But when he off, he good.
But I wonder what I wonder how, I don't know, because they didn't really, unless I missed it, I don't know if they really went into detail as to how often they were able to talk when he was working. I mean, I could imagine. I mean, he's a pilot, so he probably don't. They're maybe several hours.
She said just a few texts. You're not flying 24 hours a day. There's no way you can make me believe that. When I watched it the second time, I kind of got pissed, and so that was the reason why I made that face because I felt like, you know what, he's trying to nag her. Like I don't believe that the woman that he had before was as cute as Virginia, was as young as Virginia. And I feel like he does stuff like to make it seem like she wants him, but then he turns right back around and just like, okay, when she's on her trip, she needs to talk to him every 2 hours. But then when he's at work, he's just so busy, he's not available. So he's trying to like keep her guessing. So when he cooks and he does stuff around the house, she's supposed to notice, but when she does stuff around the house, he don't see it. You playing games, and I don't like that. I already don't like neither one of them because they made me have to defend Chris when they were coming at him, and there was my spidey senses was tingling when she started talking about, well, if my dad was here and my uncle was here and he couldn't talk to me like that, girl, get out of here with that.
That's funny. Yeah, I definitely think I'm definitely over him talking about because he's been married before, he's lived with somebody before, like, and it didn't work out, and so you're not an expert in this.
Yeah, he had
so I'm definitely
relationships.
Right. So I'm definitely over that. And then also, I'm irritated with him, like when he keeps saying, like, I just don't know why she, is she really know what she's gotten herself into? Like, is she really ready for this? Like, that's getting old. I'm tired of that. So I definitely think that to me, he treats her and he talks to her and he refers to her as though she's a child. And I think it's kind of like he just feels superior to her. Because he's so conservative. So
I also want to know who is drinking half orange juice, half champagne mimosas. Because he was She was like, well, what ratio do you want? And he was like, well, just like half and half. Who's drinking that when they go to brunch?
Just like, so it's a Tuesday morning, and she like, let's have mimosas. Like, we just woke up Tuesday morning. Let's have mimosas. What day was this?
Go ahead, Bree. What day it was, but I know I've never had a half and half mimosa, and if I did, I wanted my money back. Who paying for orange juice?
Listen, I'm gonna, we make a lot of jokes about Virginia and her drinks. But I'm like, Virginia, I consider maybe not the mimosas, maybe not the middle of the week type morning drink. Okay, maybe not. But I'm with her. I'm going to have me a drink every dinner. I'm going to have me, if I'm going to Top Golf, I'm going to get a drink too.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I like my drinks. So here's the thing with the two of them, this is what I see with both of them. They're unwilling to budge in these two areas. One, she's like, I like to go out. I like to kick it. This is me. This is the person I am. He needs to accept it. And this is my job. This is what I do. This is what it requires of me. And you need to accept it. And those two things, the fact that it seems like they're both very similar, but very headstrong in those two ways, that's going to be an issue. And also 100%, Crystal, I agree with you. He thinks not only does he, act as if he's so much older and wiser than her, he treats her like she's younger and for lack of better words, ignorant. She hasn't experienced the world and he needs to teach her all about it. But he 100% acts superior. Like he's up here and she's down here, but he's doing her a favor by taking her under his wing and taking her on this journey with him. And I don't know. I don't like it. It seems weird and I don't like it.
I don't like it either. And Clara, in an earlier episode, she specifically said, well, we're alpha women. And I feel like the only person who kind of tries to speak up is Virginia. But even when she said, he was like, well, we're good, right? And she's like, well, she kind of like started doing like this whispery thing. I kind of wish the communication was a little bit better. And I'm like, girl, say it with your chest. You're probably trying to tell you about communication and you passing out on your homeboy's couch and about how he has been married and how it failed, but he's still the expert. So why can't you just say what you need to say, Virginia? It's like she's getting so smothered and like she wants to be here, but he's going to end up running her off. I think. Because she even made a comment, something else that we didn't talk about was she said, oh, by now I would have run. By last week.
Yeah.
Like, what? So it's like they both freaked each other out because she was like, by now I'd have been out. And he was like, well, that other failed relationship, that was the love of my life.
But you know what is so funny about that? When it's convenient for him, that was the love of his life. But also, then when it's convenient for him, it was just because I was in the military and I wanted her to live here. But then it's the love of your life and it was a great marriage.
That's the mind game that I was talking about. He constantly is like running game on her. And I think it's because he's not confident that he can keep her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's spot on, Danielle. Because there's definitely, as much as he acts as if he's so above her, there's definitely some insecurities there that he may not win this prize, this trophy, whatever it is. He definitely has some insecurities.
Like a lot of insecurity kind of with all the men.
Yeah, they're all just a mess at this point to me. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I definitely thought that like they would possibly be one of the couples to stay together, but I don't know. He's extra, and I mean she is herself, but to me, I'm just like, if I were her, I would be like,
yeah, she needs to run. if he can't get her in the middle somewhere.
I said a lot could change in the next few weeks, but yeah, they a bit shaky.
Yeah,
they could do a Karen and Miles.
Yeah. That's a whole nother show. I don't even want to talk about that. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see. Let us know in the chat, like, what y'all think. Do you think Virginia and Eric have what it takes to stay together? Do you think he's treating her like a child? What do you think about Virginia and Eric? Let us know. All right. Let's just go ahead. I don't want to save them to the end. Let's just go ahead and get it over with. Paige and Chris, y'all. Paige and Chris. Like, go ahead.
Can we start off with Paige and Pastor Dwight?
We can start off with him. It's just so hard to talk about him and his drawn on hairline, y'all. And then today, I just was looking at it even more. I was like, why does the hairline start like mid-brow? Like, it should be out here. They're drawing it on too far in the middle. Okay, that has nothing to do with it.
I wonder if he tattooed it.
No, because when he sweats, it starts to look like it's fading. It's not tattooed on.
Wait, do I need to go back and rewatch it to see that?
I'm sorry, what?
Do I need to go back and rewatch it to see
Yeah,
that?
just go back to rewatch to see, because it's just too much.
I've taken a screenshot before.
What's Pastor Dwight's angle though? He trying to get him a role on this show. He trying to become one of the experts.
Nah, sir, you can't be an expert.
I didn't understand that either. The only thing I could think of was maybe the producers tried to put them back together, but he did drop some good tea about Chris being engaged before. So you always engaged but never married.
Okay. He did drop that tea. Okay, so the sit down with the pastor, my first sentence or my first note of them, sit down with the pastor was annoying. So y'all, he called Chris unstable. Unstable. He said
he threw in a scripture with that. He threw in a scripture with it. So that means it was okay, right?
Yeah, he said he was double-minded.
He said he was double-minded. So this is my thing. Don't come to me saying all this stuff after the fact. You knew all this stuff before. You knew he had already been engaged twice. You knew that he had just been with this girl. Now you're trying to come and counsel me and act like you're caring and thinking about me. And I would hope that, as you know, my pastor, I would want, or you know, whoever my husband's pastor was, I would hope that he would come to me and, you know, not just there hanging, but I just feel like you need to take some responsibility because you knew about who I was being hooked up with in the first place. And
it's not like Chris listens to anybody at all. So if his pastor had told him not to do it, it's not like he wouldn't have did it. And he didn't have the opportunity, I'm sure, to be able to talk to Paige. I mean, Paige's friend sat right there. And when he said that she was not a trophy wife and they went back and forth with him, they never told their homegirl, of course.
Wait a minute. What did you just say, Danielle? Did you say her?
I said her own friends. Yeah.
Oh, she has friends?
Did not tell.
Right. Where are her people?
She got friends? Somebody needs to answer this question for me. Like, somebody needs to get on the research because I thought I was good at researching. I can't find any information, but I need to know why her sorority sisters, why her friends, why her sister, why her brother, why her mother, why they all went ghost. Like, I have my assumptions, but I'm like, you don't have not one personal, real life individual in your life that we can see you talking to and conversing with to give you some guidance in this process. Instead, you got like Chris said, you got my people. He was on my side. She got his people. She got the producers, and she got the girls that's doing, you know, the other wives. But I'm like, come on, somebody tell me something, because this is one of those things that you like. I just need to know. I just need to know why.
Y'all, but the producers. Okay, so in the end, when they had, I'm skipping ahead. So they went and had to sit down. And she was like, Chris, tell me. I mean, they sat down, y'all. He told her when they first sat down, she like, oh, how are you? Blah, blah, whatever. He was like, well, I was mad at you last Sunday, but we cool now. And she continued in the conversation like that was okay. Like, sir, no, I was mad at you last Sunday. What do you mean you were mad at me last Sunday? Okay. But anyways, when she gets up and she's like, she said a couple things. Let me tell y'all, because I was just like, oh my gosh. First of all, I have a personal relationship with Jesus. I love God. Okay, I do.
What you about to say?
Y'all, when she was like, God led me to meet with Chris. Girl, I don't think he's talking to you in this situation. And if he is, he's saying the opposite of what you're hearing. She's talking about God.
Jesus would not want this for her.
And he's telling her to use common sense. He's telling her to use her common sense.
Oh my gosh. She said God led her to meet up with Chris for that meeting or whatever. But what did she say? Okay. So she said, oh no, when she was talking to the pastor, she said this. She said, she's trickling into the shame on me twice. She's dealing with Chris, shame on me twice. Ma'am, shame on you 1,000 times. Okay. Right. He has played you several times. You have moved past the shame on me once, shame on me twice. Girl, you have moved past this.
You are so far past 2 times being shamed on. I can't keep count how many times. Like, so she was trying to make herself feel better. In her head, that's how she was rationalizing it, that it's only been 2 times. Ma'am, when she said that, I did a double take. I was like, oh, she about to make me mad all over again.
She obviously has, I don't see how she's an accountant because she can't count. Because this has gone on, it's been too many times. Like, I don't know if she's looking at the debits or the credits. But this has me so flustered. It has me so flustered because I'm like, baby, you've been in the like this. It's just ridiculous. Like when she was at the pool party and the girls asked her about what was going on, she's like, "Well, it just depends on what I wake up with and what God tells me." Okay, when she talking to the pastor, she kind of made it seem like she ain't know, or she wasn't. She said this relationship doesn't serve me. I guess she saw that on Twitter. She sat down with him, and like I want to say all kinds of things about him, but that's just not right for me to say. When he started saying she got up and left like she was so offended, and then when he came back and he started saying the sweet things about how he just felt like he might fall in love with her and he could actually be happy. He starts talking about this do-over, and I'm waiting for her to have the same energy. Like the like that shame on me energy. And it just didn't happen. It just went away.
You know how somebody offer you something that you really want, and so before they could even get it out their hand, you already snatching like, oh, okay, thank you.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened when he was like, I feel like he just need a reset. Oh, okay, you want to start over? Okay.
He kept tiptoeing up to it, and I think he was about to say it before he could say it. She's talking about, so you want to start over?
Yes.
Yes, she was the one that said it, not him. But this is right after. This was right after she was like, I'm done with this, blah blah. And then the producers are like, just tell him, just go ahead and just say it. Just like they're like, girl, do something. Even the producers are sitting there telling you to do something.
Do you feel like that's really the way that transpired, that they were encouraging her to, if you're going to be done and tell them? Or do you feel like they were encouraging like some sort of conversation, like encouraging her to go back so that there was something? Because I kind of felt like I only watched that. I think I did watch that scene twice, but I kind of felt like it was maybe I don't know. I'm silly to say this.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like maybe they were gassing her up, like, okay, girl, just like shut up, go back and talk to him.
Yeah.
How much can people get up? They can't put anything on camera that you didn't say and you didn't do. So what they would have been taping if it had been me was an empty chair. That's it. Because I don't have time for that kind of foolishness. I just
And
don't.
she said, y'all, she said, what did she say? Um, oh, she said, let me break something down for you, Chris. I was like, ooh, okay, she gonna break it down. She breaking it on down. I'm not here for my time to be wasted. Girl, go somewhere. All of our time.
She
She
never
don't
had
believe
me fooled,
that
y'all.
people waste her time, and she's not gonna waste his time. Baby, your time being wasted, and as far as I can tell, you don't care about your time.
She doesn't. She doesn't.
It's not
Mm-mm.
valuable to you. You don't value it because
Mm-mm.
why would she
So,
want to be sitting there?
and let's talk about how he told her what she. This was right before she took the bait of let's start over. But right before that, he basically told her she deserved a man that don't just keep her as an option or consider her as an option. He told her that 30 seconds before they were like, let's reset. And she was like, okay, let's start over. You, honey, baby, you still are an option. You are still not what he wants. So I just, it's so baffling to me that she's even considering. I don't know.
And the only
She
reason,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Danielle.
This all comes on the heels of their last conversation where his fiance, mother of his child, said she didn't want him. The way my petty set up, he could not have even called my phone. We couldn't have had an in-person conversation. There could have been nothing because at the end of the day, the person who he said he wanted didn't want him. So even if he realized that that was a mistake and that he really did want me, I would have never let it work. He'd have been running after me for months.
And y'all, when she was sitting with the girls at the barbecue, and she was like, he called me, he wants to meet up again, but it's just me and him this time. Oh my gosh, girl. I can't with you. I cannot with her.
She deserves, and I hate to say this about another black woman, she deserves everything she's about to get from him. And that just is what it is. Because if you keep putting your face out there for somebody to slap it, then they're just gonna keep slapping it until you remove your face.
Yeah. I mean, but I still gotta feel bad for her because
Nope.
I she she has to not know any better or have the confidence to be any better or do any better. I don't know. And because of that, for those reasons, I have to feel bad for her. I just I don't.
I hear what you're saying. And then as much as I'm mad at her, I'm still like, stuff is just not adding up. Like, where are her people? Everybody else has had their people on all these episodes. So I feel bad for her too. I'm mad. I am mad at her because I want her to do better. It's like, girl, do better.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't understand when it sinks in that something is not working. I don't understand this type of persistence for a situation that occurred. I think they said they were married for 20 days at one point in this episode.
Yeah, 20 something days.
I had co-workers that I probably was cooler with than she's being with Chris.
I mean, right. And
Like,
that's the
I
other
don't
part
understand
that
this type of persistence.
they've never even so they never made it past the honeymoon. There's been other seasons where couples have decided to call it quits well before decision day. They end up they end up exiting out of the weekly recaps and engaging in all the conversations and the different events. I'm so
Mm-hmm.
I'm so I'm confused as to why Paige and Chris are even still a part of the storyline. And I really think Paige is at the apartment because that one day where Haley left Jacob and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go hang out with Paige." Paige still had on that same sweater when she made what's his name, Pastor, whatever his name was. So you could tell that was still the same day or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But why is Paige even in the
Okay.
apartment? Like,
I'm
why?
okay with that, right? Like, I'm okay with her still being in an apartment. I'm okay with her still hanging with the cast. Like, I'm okay with all of that. What I'm not okay with is her hanging out with and meeting with Chris and agreeing to a do-over. And then when you see the preview, you see that more drama is going to happen.
But Danielle, why are you okay with that when they're supposed to be congregating as married couples or spouses, newly married spouses, to try to help each other through this experiment? They're not married.
Because
their situation is so different that they have no togetherness.
It is.
What can you even
share? I understand that with this show, even though her and Kristen didn't work out, okay, like last season, the homegirl that was a doctor at the hospital, the nurse practitioner, when her and her boo broke up, she still was like, Amani wouldn't help her, pack up her stuff. She still was on the show like a little bit.
A very, very little. But once
I would be okay.
Hey, who was that? I forgot about that couple. Who was that? Oh, Olivia.
Yes, Olivia and then
and Brett. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. And even like when Zach and Mindy and Zach stopped, he pretty much didn't. And then there was this one season where this couple like broke up on the honeymoon, and that was it. And then we didn't see them again till like decision day, I think.
But I think there was some drama with Paige and Chris that I could see why they want the rest of the cast to kind of huddle around Paige, and that she did see the pastor. So I'm not saying that she'd be in every episode, but I can see why she would be around a little bit longer. But just like ratings and wanting to know like how she's doing or like whatever else. But who knows the order of when they tape this, because she went and she hung out with Chris, and I'm assuming she's gonna hang out with Chris again. So who knows what order these things happened, and that might be why she was in that.
Yeah, like I said before, I knew he was going to stay around to play around, and I think he's never going to leave us alone. I think he's just going to continue. He's never going away. He's not going to go away. But
his ego keeps telling him that he's going to redeem himself somehow on the show in viewers' eyes, and it will never happen.
He can't even look her in the eye when he's talking to her, trying to be real or transparent or whatever he want to call it. He leaning back, putting his hands over. He looked down. He looked up. He looked everywhere.
He laughed.
He laughed, and he said, "Well, that's just how I show emotion." Yeah, you show that you're amused. See, I almost said, "Yeah, business." I'm done with this.
Let us know in the comments what y'all think. I mean, I don't even know what do you think? I mean, is this going to be a real reset? Like, do they even have a chance of making it?
Nobody believes that.
No.
Do they have a chance of making it? I don't know. Y'all let us know what you think. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead to Haley and Jacob. All right, Haley and Jacob. So again, I'll just say this. I just think that Haley is I feel like she's putting in effort. I feel like she's trying. I just wanted to say that her dog was on the counter, and that was very troubling to me. But that has nothing to do with anything. I thought it was nice of her to buy him clothes. I felt like that was her, putting in an effort after they had that conversation about her not being attracted to him. And then right after she gave him the clothes, he asked her, what did I wrote down? He asked her if she wanted to develop a relationship past friendship. And I just felt like, why would she go out of her way to buy you clothes and be kind and sweet to you if she wasn't trying? Why would you ask her that? That made me mad. I feel like Haley is a super conflict avoider, and Jacob is like not afraid of conflict at all. Like, we gonna talk about this. I'm gonna push these buttons, or I'm gonna bring this uncomfortable situation up, which obviously you have to in their situation, but I don't know. I just felt like, duh, she's trying and she wants to try because she is, but I think they need to work on their communication.
Yeah, he has no emotional intelligence at all. And for him to jump right into, like, instead of just basking in the moment of, oh wow, nobody has ever really bought me clothes. Like, I mean, come on, duh. Like, she's doing that for a reason. Like, it's really nice, but also maybe that's going to help her build that attraction. But I mean, he just went immediately, he ruined a nice moment that it was really generous. The fact that she really thought about that and went out and did that, he ruined a nice moment to immediately go back into the whole physical attraction, like all that stuff. Like, you can't talk somebody into being attracted to you, or immediately liking you or jumping to that stage. You cannot talk her into it. It's something that has to evolve and something that has to happen. So he has to play a part to help her get there. He's a little detached from reality to me.
He's very analytical, because you have to remember, like, he's a computer IT guy. So it's just like he sees a problem, like he just keeps trying to attack the problem. But he's somebody else who does not have a lot of self-confidence. Like, he started doing like the bodybuilding and all that stuff to like kind of, I guess, like to put on this persona. But it's just like, if he had any type of self-confidence, it wouldn't have crushed him so bad, which, I mean, that's pretty crushing when somebody says they're not attracted to you. I'm sorry. I would want the floor to open up and swallow me.
That's why I'm not going to ask that question.
Right. And that doesn't make any sense. Why would you say that? You be like, do I look fat in this dress? Do you really want that answer? No. But he just handles things so bad. He asks questions that he doesn't want to know the answer to. And then he lashes out at her. Like, I wrote down, like, he told her she was not ready for this. And that, what else did he say? He said she's combative, I think. Did he say combative?
He can call her that.
But like he said, like she had a boyfriend. And then like he just puts things on her. And it's like with every argument, then she's like, okay, well, I'm going to step back. Then she starts trying to tiptoe forward again. And then he says something mean, and then she's stepping back to, 10 more steps. And it's just like, no, why can't you stop?
It's crazy. And she said that too. She was like, when they were in Vegas and he went off on her and accused her of having the boyfriend and all that, like, then she was like, the little bit of ground we made, we lost. And attraction can build, but if somebody's not physically attracted to you and the attraction is building, it's because they like who you are as a person. They're attracted to on the inside, and then the outside attraction starts to grow. So she can't even grow that because you're ruining her attraction to who you just are as a person.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to say, like, he doesn't have a lot of emotional intelligence, but that's not true. She told her story about how she was in love when she was like in high school or college and somebody messed over her. He listened to that whole story very intently, and he immediately summed it up. He said, you obviously were in love, because if you weren't in love, you wouldn't have been so wounded by it. And that he even said, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do to be able to get past your walls. It doesn't matter how nice I am, how rude I am, how whatever. You have to let me in. That's somebody who understood exactly where she was coming from. But it's like when he gets hurt or he feels like she comes at him, he just reacts really badly. And he's messing it up. And he has no swag whatsoever.
He doesn't at all. Like, I just
when he sees there's a problem, like both of them have sucky communication, because he said, well, you went out last night and you just stayed out really late, and I thought that when I sent you that funny joke, how would I know, because you sent me a funny joke, that you want me to come over and talk about that awkward conversation that we had earlier? How am I supposed to know that? So she was right. And I like that she was kind of having a little bit more strength to have these difficult conversations with him, and to, to kind of give back at him, because she can't read his mind.
Yeah. But I feel like that was somewhat of good communication for him to even acknowledge the fact that his funny joke text meant something. You know, at least that says something, like that clarifies and that helps for if there is a future and that happens again. You know, I mean, he still probably needs to be more direct and stop, you know, trying to say things without saying it. But I don't know that if it doesn't work out, it's gonna be his fault. Because I will say that she really is the MVP for trying. Like, she's putting in a lot of effort.
She is.
She is putting some effort, but I also kind of feel some kind of way about her because she was just like, I don't know if I'm attracted to you. I don't know if I'm gonna stay. I don't know what it is you need to do. She doesn't know anything. And there's not anything that a partner can do to solve a situation when you say, hey, if you're going to trust me again, or whatever the situation is, what do you need to see from me? What do you need me to do? And you like, I don't know. There's nothing as a partner that I can do with that.
I think she knows. I think she just really does not want to hurt his feelings. And so I think she just, because if you say, I don't know if I'm attracted to you, the answer is I'm not. Because if you are, yes, I'm attracted to you. So I think she just doesn't want to hurt his feelings, is what it is.
Also, I didn't like the fact that when he was like, well, I thought we could talk about what we can do. Excuse me, you are somebody who handles problems all the time. Why can't you figure out what you think you need to do and you come to me with a solution? Hey, I think we need to do a better job of dating each other. And what do you feel like dating each other looks like? That way you don't have to say, when you see me, it just don't do it for you. We had sex and I don't even know how that happened the first time because right now it looks like that's never going to happen again. Because I'm really, really wondering, how drunk was she that first time? And how bad was it? How bad was it? Because it wasn't good. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I believe that it was.
It couldn't have been good. Because honestly, if it was good, she would get drunk again and do it again.
Listen, it couldn't have even been decent the way she acted.
So have we figured out if they are sleeping in the same room or if they sleeping in separate rooms?
If they're sleeping, I think they might be sleeping in the same room. But if they're sleeping in the same room, it's probably a pillow in between them.
She awake the whole night. Hoping he don't roll over and his feet don't touch her. Okay, well, let us know what y'all think in the comments about Haley and Jacob. Do they have a chance? Who do you think is the most toxic in the relationship, Haley or Jacob? I don't know. It's a toss-up. Okay. Oh, last but not least, right?
Yep.
Clara and Ryan. So, Clara and Ryan, I like Clara. I feel sad for her. Ryan is so annoying to me. If he says sure one more time, sure. Yeah, sure. Like, it's really irritating to me. And all of his expressions, all the looks on his face, every time she talks, it just looks like he just can't stand her. Like, oh my gosh, what she's saying, he just cannot understand. I just feel like everything is on his terms. Ryan does squats every day, multiple times a day.
And on his lunch break.
On his lunch break, just all day. But y'all, the donut dinner was so nasty to me. I'm not a donut person. And it was so many of those donuts, and I just thought, and she ate so many of those donuts. I was like, her stomach has got to hurt, that sugar.
But that was after eating raw cookie dough.
Yeah, that was. And he was he cannot understand why she would eat that cookie dough. But y'all, I thought it was nice and thoughtful for him to take her there. You know, obviously he was listening to her. But y'all, he's just always so serious. I think she just is so like done with it. Like, let's have fun. Like, I get that they have to get deep and this is a short amount of time. They need to get to know each other. But he's just always so serious. And you can tell she's just a really fun, loving person. They can never just have a chilled out time. And she was tired of him talking. That's why she ate all those donuts.
That was the best thing ever. Because you know how sometimes they show clips and it doesn't turn out to actually be that way. And I was so happy that that donut, like that scene, really did turn out to be that way. That she like that she kept eating those donuts, and she was like, "What is this?" Like that was the best thing ever, because the real her finally came out, or she accepted that, look, this is not what I want in the moment, and I'm going to speak up about it. So I was really happy for her in that moment, because I wouldn't want to be eating donuts talking about that either. Let me enjoy my donuts, man. You brought me here for a reason.
Yeah.
I actually feel bad for Ryan. He does say sure a lot. I think he has a tough exterior, but because of the way that he communicates and the way that he handles himself, that he doesn't get as much sympathy or isn't as well looked upon as Haley is, right? Because it's kind of like the same thing, but they just have like a different way of showing it. But it basically has like a huge wall up. And so for him, everything is going to be superficial, I think, until the camera's off and they get some time in. Then he's going to be a little bit more, I think, himself, and you'll be able to see the inside of those cabinets. Because remember, the inside of his cabinets and that kitchen was mess. So I believe that there's some mess under there, but he's just not going to let her see it. And I felt like, while it sounded like a motivational speech, he was letting her in on like what motivates him and what drives him every day. And like he was like very serious and like actually probably having one of the few real moments that he's had with her on camera. And she was like, I ain't come here for this. I came here for the jelly donuts. And I was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of like he was like sharing some very intimate things, like very important things. And she was like, what? But I feel like, I don't know, like what you said was very key. Like, he has some mess too, open up those cabinets. And it was so funny because whenever he does show those little things, those imperfections, she really enjoys it because he has this facade, he has this appearance that he wants everybody to see. And
Right.
so she really enjoys it when she sees. But I don't know, Danielle. I feel like every time he's talking, it's just so like, this is just so polished, and I don't know. That's what I've noticed, and I think she's tired of it. Because I am.
Like maybe that was one of the most real conversations that he had on camera. I do see what you're saying about him. It seems like a lot of things are off camera and kind of behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. But maybe we don't see it as often, but I'm sure she sees it a lot. Like, even just like that seriousness, and like Crystal was saying, like he is very kind of like uptight. And I don't know, maybe she was just tired of it. Maybe she saw a little guard down because he went to a donut place and he would rather eat asparagus. Mm-hmm. And so maybe she, in that moment, she was like, oh my gosh, it might be like actually something kind of chill and laid back. And then she was taken aback because she was like, okay, you get donuts, but we got to, talk about, like, I want to know what motivates you. And why can't he just talk about open up and share with her? Why does it? I don't know.
Maybe it's like an age thing because they're in their mid-20s, but it's just like it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So she could have just said when he said all that and she was sick of hearing it. It was like her 60th time hearing about his motivations and routines and all this stuff. You know what? Thank you for sharing that with me. But I'd like to know a little bit more about you that's not about your motivations and your routines. Tell me about the last time that you were embarrassed. Tell me about and just have some questions ready to go so that he can say something funny, so she can kind of get him to open up. For some people, like for me, it's hard to be on camera and be yourself, especially when you're all about appearances.
Yeah.
How he comes off is extremely important to him. So all she's probably going to get is probably when the cameras are off, and she might not get that much because he don't know her like that. He said he doesn't trust anybody. You have to earn his respect. So she gonna get his for probably the first 6 months.
See, and people like him, I'm just like, why did you do this? Why did you come on this show? Why did you do this experience? Like,
Yeah.
I don't get that. Like, people like him.
He couldn't even give his definition of love. He was like, I don't know. Well, I got a problem. What she should have said was, I have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you've never told anybody that you love them, you don't know what requirements they have to meet for you to say that you love them or for you to feel like you're in love with them. That is a problem, and that's something I really need you to think about and come back and talk to me about. Can we also talk about the fact that Clara's cup was garbage at that craft place? She is not. I don't know what kind of crafts. I don't know what kind of craft she is doing, but she need to leave that alone with the pottery. She gotta let that go.
Maybe she was trying to let him be better than her. She was like, I feel like his is gonna be better. Maybe she wanted him to be better just to give that to him. Y'all, and he said he was putting her crafts in the garage. He said, yeah, I found a place for them in the garage.
That made me mad. And I'm glad that but see again, she was the primary person that said something about being an alpha woman. When he said something about putting herself in the garage, she was like, well, I could at least have a she shed.
No.
She didn't say that. She didn't say that very firmly. She didn't get firm until she heard about him talking about a timeshare for the 60th time. That's when she. That's when
have you been talking about timeshares?
No, he didn't really talk about it. But I was saying, like, she was like, it was a motivational speech. Like, she sat down thinking she was
I get it.
And, like, you talking about this thing that I don't want to talk about.
Yeah. I thought I'd be blacking him out in my head anyway. So I was like, oh, he do be talking about timeshares too? But you're right. That's literally. And when I be going to those timeshare things, I'm like, can y'all just let me get to the end to get my prize? Like, I don't want to hear all this. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure Ryan is a nice guy, but I really like Clara and I just feel sorry for her. And
I would really like to hear more from his friends because I really want to know how unbuttoned he is. And I'm still trying to figure out what type of intimacy they have because she has not seen him with his shirt off. So I know it's none of my business, but I'm still wondering what is and is not happening.
But something is happening.
Your chest being out is the least you can do.
I mean, he go to bed. Does he go to bed with a shirt every night?
He was like in a polo shirt in one scene when they were in the bed. It wasn't even like a pajama top. At least Bennett, I would prefer Bennett's dress over going to sleep in that polo shirt with shorts. And everything he has, every pair of pants, shorts, anything on the bottom is tight.
He does squats.
But wait a minute, I'm about to start doing squats like him now.
Me too.
You'll probably never be sitting on that thing like him. You'll never. There's got to be like a genetic thing. Like everybody got to have some tail in his family. Got to. Got to.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens with Claire and Ryan. Let us know in the comments if y'all gonna start doing squats too. But no, for real, let us know what you think. Do they have a chance? I don't see it because I just don't see him opening up. I don't see him giving her what she needs. And she obviously isn't giving him what he needs. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let us know what y'all think. Do y'all have any last thoughts, Bree, Danielle?
I am looking forward to next week. I really want to see Paige get played again.
Yeah, I want somebody to find out for me. I'm gonna spend this week trying to find out some information as to why her family and friends just dropped her to the side, because I need to I know it's got to be some information out there because it makes no sense. I have never seen, out of all the seasons I've watched, I have never seen nobody have nobody like that.
Yeah.
There's a reason, and I want to know the reason.
Well, do your research. Ask Carrie to help you because she's a great researcher also. And come back next week with information. Thank you everybody for watching. If you haven't already done so, subscribe, like this video, give us a thumbs up, and then hit the bell so you get notifications when our reviews come out every week. Thank you again, Danielle, for joining us. I always love to hear. Yes, I love to hear what you have to say every week. It's always very entertaining. So anyways, all right, well, I'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.